Welcome to Education Universe. Today's lesson is on how to set up a paper in APA format. It's pretty simple. The first thing that we're going to do is have a look at the very top part. So one of the things in APA is that it has a running head, and the cover page has actually the words running head on it, and the subsequent pages only have the title. And I'll show you what that means in just a second, but the very first thing that we're going to do is double click inside this header. You're going to see a box pop up under design and click different first page. That will allow us to change the text inside the cover page, and the subsequent pages will be different. So now that you've got that done, we're going to go ahead and insert a page number. We're going to do top of page, plain number 3. And then we're going to type running head colon space. Your cap has to be in all titles. So, in all caps. So early childhood lessons. So this is your title. Now, one thing that you're going to notice is that this is not in the correct font. In APA, all the font needs to be in Times New Roman. So go ahead and select all of this before we move it over to the left margin. Go up to your font area, find Times New Roman. You can actually type it in there if you need to, see how it pops up, and choose that, and then change it to 12. And then once you come back over here, put your cursor right in between the S and the 1 and hit your tab key, which is on the left corner of your keyboard. And what that does is give you your first page header in perfect format and perfect font. So let's go down to the page here and do our cover page. On APA papers, everything is double spaced. Now you'll notice when we got down here, it reset to Calibri. So let's go ahead and reset it to Times New Roman and 12 font, and then we are going to change your spacing. This up and down arrow right here changes your spacing to 2.0. One thing you will want to pay attention to down here is that if it says add space, that's great. If it says remove space, when you look at this, you need to click it to remove any extra spaces on your paper in case your instructor is picky. So you're going to enter 3 times, 1, 2, 3. You can actually put this down a little further. Most instructors aren't very picky about this, but somewhere around a third down the page, so you can go down a little further. And the first thing that you will type here is your title that you typed above, and it's going to be centered. So let's go up and find the center key. This means it's on the left margin. This is centered and this is the right margin. We want to choose center. Go ahead and type your title. So here we have Early Childhood Lessons: A Means to Independence as the title. Now notice that this and this, the header title does not match, and I wanted to show you this because you could have opted to put this entire title in, but if your title ends up being extremely long, it's a good idea to go ahead and use the first several words, an abbreviated version in your header, so that it doesn't run over your page number. So the next thing that you'll put on here, depending on what your instructor is asking you to do, is your name. So you'll put your name. And then the next thing would be the school. So in this case, you could do any school. It could be Murray State or Western Kentucky University or Portland State University, whatever university you're in. So hit enter after that. The next thing we're going to do is insert a page break because you're done with page 1. So go to the insert tab, hit page break. What that's going to do is bring you down to the second page. On this page, we're going to go ahead and put in the header. It's going to look a little bit different. Go ahead and double click just like you did. We won't change any of this time. And we're going to go ahead and go through the same process. So insert, page number, top of page, plain number 3, And on this one, all you'll have is your title in all caps. So where you see Early Childhood Lessons, we're going to go back down here, and right next to your number in all caps, you'll put Early Childhood Lessons. Leave that there while you fix the font. Go ahead and go back to Home. You're going to select the entire thing with your mouse and go up to Times New Roman. You're going to change this to 12 font again. Put your cursor between Early Childhood Lessons and 2 and hit Tab until it's over on your left margin. I had to hit it 2 times in this case. Okay, so the next page, a lot of students leave this step off. It depends on your instructor. You may have an abstract, and an abstract is a summary, a very short summary or forecasting of your paper. I will show you that, and then I'll erase it and show you how you start without an abstract. So if it were an abstract page here where you wrote your summary, you would simply have abstract written right in the center of the page, and then you would enter, and you would make sure that you start your abstract on the left margin and it is not indented. So if you were to start your abstract, you would just start typing you know, what your article or what your paper is going to be about, and you would not indent it. In this case, I'm not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and start with the paper because most instructors, at least in college, do not require an abstract. And if they do, it's a very simple process to put up, and there'll be another video on that. So here, if you notice, Early Childhood Lessons, A Means to Independence is the actual title, and this title should be identical to the one on your first line of your second page. So these have to match in the header as far as in the header, but when you're looking at what goes on page 2, it's identical to the page 1, the long form of your title. So we're going to go ahead and paste that here. If you need to, you can type it in and then go to your next line to start your text. And so when you start typing your essay, you're going to simply hit the tab button to send it over to the side, and you're going to start typing the first paragraph of your essay. Now here's a something to note. Some instructors require level 1 headings. For example, they might say, well, we want an introduction heading. If that were the case, you would click the center button, go ahead and hit the bold, because level 1 headings are in bold. So this would be a level 1 heading. You would make sure it's not bolded when it's over on your left margin again, and you would indent with the tab key to start your text. Now, typically an introduction heading is not something that you'll see on a paper. You would leave this header out, and then all subsequent headers would be centered and boldface. So this would be your first page, and then the next thing that I'd like to show you is how to do the beginning of the reference page and give you an example of what one entry might look like so that you have a frame of reference when you do this. So let's pretend for a second that you've written this page and that you're finished. So at the all of the references page, so if this were full of text all the way down, your reference page would actually start on the next page. It is on a page by itself. So once you're done with all of your text, you're going to insert, and remember how we did a page break? So we're going to do a page break and send it to the next page that has no text on it. Even if this had text on it and it only had one line of your essay on it, you would still have to go to page 4 to start your references. So if you go back to your home page, you're going to be able to center this. References is just centered. It is not bolded, and so you'll type the word references. Once you've typed the word references, simply hit enter. Now you're going to have to set it to the left margin. You can either do that by hitting the left margin or just hitting backspace, and that's going to put it over here on the left. So I'm going to show you an entry. Remember that all references are in alphabetical order, so if you have several authors, make sure that you're paying attention to that. So today the author's name is Jones, The first name is Amanda. The year of the publication is 2017. There's a period after that. This is Early Childhood Development, a guide to helping in the classroom. Something you'll immediately notice about this is that the letters on like childhood and development, guide, helping, these are not capitalized in this case, and that's an APA formatting issue. So any letter at the beginning is, any proper noun is, so if you'd had like a country or a state, that would be capitalized. But otherwise, these are not capitalized in the references. Now, if you'd written this title inside the text, it would have been. So you've got the Early Childhood Development, :, a guide to helping in the classroom. That is your title. And then is your journal name. So if this were a journal article from a peer-reviewed journal, you would be looking at the journal name next. Now that one is italicized, and to do that you'll simply go up and hit the italics button, and it's Journal of Childhood Development. And then if you notice on this one, the title of the journal is capitalized. So there's a few small things that you can accidentally do incorrectly, like reversing those or capitalizing them all. So just pay attention to that, the title is not in title casing for the article, but it is for the journal name. And then the next thing that you could do is the page numbers and your volume. So we've got 2 and 20, and that is in regular case. You're going to put a comma, and then say it's on page 120 through 99. Sorry, 199. So it looks like a pretty long article. You're going to put a period after that. And then the very last thing that you'll talk about is where it was retrieved from. So you've got retrieved from HTTP, and you can actually copy this and paste it from your browser. Child Development research.org. So you've got retrieved from, and you've got your website, and most of the time it'll have something after it, and then like the date. So you can sometimes see the date in there. Most of these come from the databases at your respective college. Now, one thing that you're missing here before we end the video is a hanging indent. All of these are formatted where the second and third line here would be over here where you would normally tab to, but if you tab, it does something funny to the text. So go ahead and select all of it. You're going to right click your mouse. You're going to see this. You're going to hit paragraph. Then you're going to go to special, and it actually has a hanging setting, and you're going to say OK. That actually brings you to the perfect hanging indent. So there's no reason to enter to try to adjust any lines here, which is what some students do. And if you had like a whole lot of entries here, you could choose them all. You could go down to the bottom of the page and you could do the very same thing and it would work. So on all of those. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Please see our other videos that will be coming out on other formats and different aspects of research and writing. Thank you for listening.